Hey everyone, there's been some weird stuff happening on. I actually recorded this video and realized there was no sound that came through, and my microphone's working. I pressed record on a different app, but for whatever reason, when I use my video, it just doesn't record. So we're going to see how this goes. I have a kind of transmission that I wrote out, a message that is for all of you, and it's about kind of where we are at right now and what's been going on with within a lot of us on a change level. There seems to be an energy of death in the air, and I don't know if this has to do with the upcoming lunar eclipse in Scorpio coming up on May 5th. Which is less than a month away. It's like three weeks, 3.5 weeks away. So I'm going to read the transmission, and then there's some points in here that I want to clarify, and we'll go over, and hopefully this message will be helpful to some of you. Many await the news that change is coming, but we would say to you that change is already here. It stirs within each of you on a deeper soul level, sometimes imperceivable, but it is there. For some are experiencing a slow death of the old, and others at radical speeds, unable to stop the process if they tried. Please note that neither is better or preferred. You each have an attunement to a calibration that is set for your personal journey and soul needs. The breakdown of the old structures within you can happen quickly, but then you are left with not much left to anchor into, leaving you to feel lost and uncertain of your future. But we assure you that some of the most important changes are the ones that are not as noticeable, for they provide necessary support to the new structure being built. To rush such a process would be a fool's mission. The subtle shifts are where you will gain insights needed for what lies ahead of you. Do you trust yourself? Faith is an important ingredient to the cake you are baking, and the cake is rising. But do not open the oven door too soon, for what you are waiting for requires patience and time. Death of anything is never easy, but as you all go through your own rebirth, you will see that what remains in the ashes of what was is a fertilizer for your future. Remember, nothing is lost or wasted. All is repurposed or transformed. And when you're ready to truly let go of what is expired, your renewal is ready to take flight. Do not worry about making the wrong choices or decisions at this time. Just focus on a flow forward, knowing that every choice offers you new experiences and encounters that may serve you in ways only your future self may understand. Trust and faith are important right now, and each step taken forward, no matter how big or small, speaks volumes to the universe that you have the faith required for what is ahead of you, and most importantly, that you are ready. So a couple of points here that I want to just clarify. One is that I want to make very clear that they're not saying, or this message is not saying that if you're going through a major breakdown that you're missing certain insights. It doesn't work like that, so to speak. But sometimes when the shifts are so subtle, we don't realize there's still messages within that as well. And we don't really notice that all those changes are happening. And sometimes when we're going through the breakdown, we're so overwhelmed that we may not even get the messages either. There's always messages there. It's up to us to really kind of tune in. And so one of the things that's really important here is this idea of your, when you're rising from the ashes of what you were or what was, okay, whatever it might be that is going through a death process, the ashes that remain, remember, ashes are very fertile. It has very fertile energy in it. And this is speaking to the fertilizer that it becomes for your future plans, or what is lying ahead of you that you are planting in your future. And the reason why I say this is because so often we get held up worrying, like, is this the right choice? Is this the right decision? What should I do? And we get paralyzed by our own fear of making the wrong choice. And I think what's so important here is to understand that There are no real wrong choices or decisions ahead. You're going to get an experience out of each one, and you're going to encounter things that are necessary or possibly going to provide you with things that is going to give you what is needed for you in your future. And so it's, instead of worrying so much about the right choice or the wrong choice, what this is trying to speak to is the importance of just taking a step forward or just moving forward. And again, it doesn't have to be a huge step. It's just the little steps forward is what really matters. And when you are doing that, you are creating an energy that is speaking to the universe that you are ready for what your actions forward are preparing you for. And so because you're preparing for your future through the actions that you're taking, you are now in a frequency alignment for what is ready to come in, which means you now can match up. So when we get paralyzed and we don't do anything, which again, I want to say there are going to be moments in your journey where you do have to press pause and you do have to reflect and assess and kind of see, like, look around and make sure that, you know, you're not making any rash choices or decisions, and that you're acting accordingly. But for the most part, though, a lot of us can get paralyzed, and you don't want to get paralyzed. And there is so much that it lies ahead of you in your future, that your future self needs you to let go of certain things. When we talk about like that Scorpio eclipse that's coming up in a few weeks, of what is it in your old karma that you're ready to shed, that you've lived through, you've gained the lessons, you don't need to take that on with you. Like, you're ready to let it go. There's a new part of you that's ready to emerge. Okay. You have to literally change. You have to become someone else. And a lot of us are going through this death of who we are because we are becoming someone else. You are becoming who you need to be to fulfill the destiny ahead of you. This is one of the biggest reasons why, like, I created the Forbidden Journey coaching program, is because, you know, we often forget, even though there's a part of us that we all know this to some degree, but we forget how essential it is that we actually change so that we can actually match up with the destiny ahead of us. Otherwise, all we're going to be a match for is the recycled past. If you don't want the past to keep recycling itself, you literally have to change. And it's, you know, you change through your own healing, you change through the choices that you make and the behavior patterns that you either stop or initiate. And there's many things that we need to realize that are ahead of us. And oftentimes why we're paralyzed is because we've met the guardian of the gate. And this is something I'm going to go into great detail in the Forbidden Journey coaching program is, you know, who is the guardian of the gate for you, who prevents you from moving forward and going deeper into the unknown parts of you to access those unpolished gems that belong to the crown of your kingdom. And those unpolished gems are the parts of you that you don't actually give enough credit to, the parts of you that are too vulnerable for you to even acknowledge. Okay, the parts of you that you don't think are good enough, the parts of you that you think did something horribly wrong in your past and you just want to pretend it doesn't exist. I promise you that in all of those areas where your fears and your judgments are all like birthed from, that is where the ultimate like reigning of your kingdom is lying. And for you to wear that crown, you have to go in there and get those jewels, polish them off, clean them off the dirt, get them ready, put them in so that you can claim what is yours in this destiny. And so many of us are having to let go right now. We're shedding, we're tired of the burdens we've been carrying because we thought that that's what we needed to carry. And we're realizing, no, we don't need to. Some of you, it's the martyr complex and realizing, you know what? I'm ready for my abundance. I'm ready to have more. You know, I don't need to sacrifice in order to, or I should say, I don't have to sacrifice myself in order to be a good person, to be a good soul, to be of service in this world. You can be of service in this world and have an equal to or even greater reciprocity, okay, of what you're deserving of. Like, I have recently, you know, I like over the last year have gone through probably one of my most difficult years in a sense of really facing what lies ahead for me in my future and having to face very old, dark wounds and deep fears that were necessary. I knew that if I kept hiding from it and I kept delaying and procrastinating, which I have done for years, okay? So I am no better than anyone else out there. I am just like all of you. And I procrastinated and it just built up and it built up. And I'm like, when is this going to happen? Is there going to be a door that opens for me? And the door never opened for me until I was ready to open the door for myself. There was no one coming to save you except yourself. But it's always great to have a helping hand when one is there. And so I leaned on people for support around me who would help me, move through this when I didn't feel I was strong enough to, when I wasn't sure if I was making the right move, but I kept moving forward and I kept moving forward. And I'm happy to say that I finally made it through, which was one of a very long enduring year of processes and fears and just honestly not sure what laid ahead for me in my future. And for you guys, there are great rewards that lie ahead of you. There is a reciprocity from the universe to gift you with being willing to take the courage and to go down that journey, to take that forbidden journey into the darkness, into the unknown, where there is no certainty other than, you're going to find something. And deep down, that you have to go there. Deep down, you have to go there, because staying on the surface only gives you reprieve for so long. And then you start to feel like you're missing something in life. Then you start to feel like that satisfaction is dwindling, and you know that you're meant for more, and you know that there is more there for you. And, one of the things that I've been really blessed is that I received some excellent news last week that could really transform my life. And I was told that, things would happen once I got through what I needed to get through and not before. And I now understand that you have to be ready. You have to be ready to receive what is ahead of you by showing that you're ready. You can't, the thing is that so much of what we're scared of is truly our greatness. When you kind of pare it all down, strip it all away, that's really what it comes to. But it means in order to get to your greatness, you have to pull back all the layers and the crap that is lying on top of it. And that's the judgment. It's the fear. It's the disappointment. It's the discouragement. It's the unworthiness, it's the shame. It's the guilt. It's all of that. You've got to pull it all away so that you can actually be ready to receive it. Because then you become that frequency match for it to come in. And so I hope this message was helpful for you. If you are needing any assistance on your journey, whether it's just a reading or inner child work or coaching in any way, just know I'm here for you. Or if you have someone around you that you can lean on them. And for those of you that are really ready to take the deep dive, the group coaching program is where I'm really going to be focusing on taking you guys through elements that I've never discussed in my coaching yet to date. Really taking you on that deep descent take you so that you've come face to face with the guardian of the gate, okay, for your soul and your future and your destiny. Because what lies ahead of you is so powerful. You don't even realize that hidden within all the things that you kind of push away or resist is where your deepest, most powerful inner resource lies. The things that you're going to need to tap into, propel you into your future, is all lying in there. And you've got to be willing to be bigger than the fear, be bigger than the shame, be bigger than the judgments. So I am already starting to take applications. I'm signing people up now for the group coaching program. I had to wait for a moment to get everything in order, but that's all ready now. So for those of you who are ready, I'd love to have you in there. The application process is on the group coaching page of the Forbidden Journey on my website. Links are in the description below this video. And just know that this is a very interesting time that we're in. I'm going to put out videos for the eclipses for sure, because the energy is very intense. We're coming into one of the most intense periods of the entire year. So I want to like kind of give you guys what I'm picking up from the energies when I look at the charts and what I think is coming up ahead. And I think that's it. Yeah. So guys, I love you so much. I hope this message was helpful for you. I hope that, you know, like you have the courage to at least move forward in some way. Just remember, you need to create an action that can then be reciprocated in its frequency match from the universe to come to you. And once you are taking action forward, no matter how big or small, as long as you're taking that action, you are coming out of that paralysis that keeps you in that state, that keeps the perpetuating past in recycle mode. Okay, we don't want the past to recycle itself over and over again, especially if you're not happy. I mean, if you're happy and everything's perfect, okay, good for you, like awesome. But for the most part, we're not there. Like a lot of us aren't, that's not where we're at. And so just something to think about. And I love you guys. Leave comments in the description below or below this video. Let me know how you receive the message. And I'll be back with you guys really soon.